Hey, it's Mr. Cohen, and in this video we're going to talk about factoring polynomials. You're going to see this on about page 536. I think I'll send an email with what problems are good to do there. Now in the last video, the beginning of the chapter, like around page 509, we talked about FOIL method and multiplying polynomials. Factoring, in this case, is going to be reversing FOIL. Now, if you think about a polynomial like x squared plus 10x plus 24, well, from FOIL, we knew that from the first, we were going to get x squared. What multiplies to x squared? X times x. If you look at going back to FOIL method, how we got to our last is the multiplication of two numbers. Well, what we're looking for in this case is two numbers that multiply to 24. But if we go back to the outer and the inner in this example where they were 2x and 3x that added to 5x, we're looking for numbers that multiply to 24 and add to 10. 8 and 3 multiply to 24, but don't add to 10. 12 and 2 add up to 14. So the answer is going to be x plus 6, times x plus 4. What we are looking for is what multiplies to the last number, which in this case was 24, and adds to the coefficient of the middle term, which in this case was 10. So if we had another example, x squared plus 15x plus 56, what multiplies to 56 and adds to 15? Well, 8 and 7 do. So we get x plus 8 times x plus 7. It's going to be the same in all these situations. Now, the one thing that's going to change is that we may have a different sign. If we have x squared minus 10x plus 24, we're still asking the same question. What multiplies to 24 and now adds to negative 10? Well, for two numbers to multiply to a positive and add to a negative, well, for two numbers to multiply to a positive, first of all, they would both have to be either positive or negative. For those numbers to add to negative 10, they're both going to be negative. We're going to end up with x minus 6 times x minus 4. By the way, if you have x minus 4 times x minus 6, that's fine. That's the associative or commutative property, excuse me. So if the middle sign is a negative and the last sign is a positive, we're still going to have the same two numbers probably, but two minus signs here. Where this changes, and I know I'm going through this quickly, but where this changes is if the last sign is negative. For instance, x squared plus 6x minus 27. Well, to get to a negative, we want to multiply a positive times a negative. So what we're going to end up with is an x plus and an x minus. The question is still the same, though. What multiplies to negative 27 and adds to positive 6? In this case, we're going to x plus 9 times x minus 3. 9 times negative 3 is negative 27. If you think about FOIL, our inner is 9x, our outer is negative 3x. That adds to 6x. If we have x squared minus 5x minus 36, well, in this case, what multiplies to negative 36 and adds to negative 5 is x minus 9 times x plus 4. One last thing, I'm trying to keep this video short. One last thing. You will notice in these two videos when the last number is negative here the 9 is positive, and so is the 6 in the middle here. Here the 9 is negative, and so is the 5. A shortcut rule that you can use, or at least a reminder, is that when the last sign is negative, the number with the bigger absolute value which in both of these cases is a 9 or a negative 9, gets the same sign as the middle term. So the 9 gets the same sign as the 6 because the absolute value of 9 is bigger than the absolute value of negative 3. Here, the absolute value of negative 9 is the same as 4. Once we determine that the numbers are 9 and 4, the 9 gets the same sign because the 9's bigger. It's a negative, the 9 is negative. The 9's bigger than 3, the absolute values. The 9 gets the same sign as the 6. All right, I want to thank my wife for patiently videotaping 3 of these now. I want to thank our dogs once again. There's Rocco. I don't know where BB is, but that's Rocco for not barking during this whole thing. And I want to remind you that if you have questions, you can email me, mcohen2@pghschools.org. Everybody stay safe. and be well and enjoy your time with your family, even as difficult as this is.